Yay! Well, welcome to Pop Palace. My name is Jack. I'm the host. At Pop Palace, we celebrate iconic women and queer people in pop music and culture. And so, one thing we like to do is have our guests introduce themselves and tell us one of your earliest memories you have in music.
Hi, I'm Julie Ragbeer. I'm a singer-songwriter. You might know me as a meme. I would say I did a talent show when I was in 8th grade. Unfortunately, it didn't get recorded, but I did a cover of Bon
Oh,
Jovi,
dang.
You Give Love a Bad Name, and everybody knows me as a very shy person, right? But when I went on that stage, I went full on Sasha
Mm-hmm.
Fierce. I was giving the energy and everything. And the next day, everybody was looking at me like they were gagged because who would have thought this shy girl can make some moves? And
Really?
I can definitely make some moves.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's so iconic. Did you like have
Yes,
an
it
outfit
was
on
a
or
Rock of
anything, or were you just out
Ages
there slaying?
themed talent show. So it was all like 80s music and I chose You Give Love a Bad Name because I don't know, maybe I'm teasing a future rock era. I don't know. Thank you.
I love that so much. That's so iconic. So, your debut album, Perplex, reflects on your experiences at 19. What made you decide to revisit and re
Yeah, with
release that
Perplexed.
era
Oh, it
of
feels so
music?
long ago because like the songs were pretty much written at 19, but but then so much
Mm-hmm.
time passed, COVID, and I was going through like my own mental health, and that it just kept on getting postponed. And yes, I could have skipped it to another era, but it didn't feel like, it didn't feel genuine or authentic to myself. So I was like, you know what? I think I was 23 when I released it. So I was like, let me just release this and just,
Mm-hmm.
get it out of my chest. And yeah, it was just an era I couldn't let go. And clearly it was the right decision because those 16 million views, I think, says like it was the right decision.
Yeah, definitely. Was it like a strange feeling releasing something that has been
Yeah,
held
it just
for
felt
just
like,
yourself for so
like
long?
I all those emotions, I was going through it on my own. And 19 was a very unique but interesting year because you're not really an adult, but you're not really a kid anymore either. And I was just
Mm-hmm.
really, coming of age really that year. And it was an age I couldn't forget, which kind of shows because I recently did a EP called Summer of 2019. So yeah, it was a time that it was a huge milestone in my life. Like a lot of things were happening emotionally, and it just was something I couldn't let go, and I just felt I had to release
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah, definitely. My personal favorite, Mary Whiton Calkins. This song is an ode to a philosopher and psychologist. What drew you to her work, and how did her story
Yes,
translate into an
I
iconic pop
learned
song?
about her in my intro to psych class, and our professor wanted us to write like a one-page like summary of someone, and I chose Mary Whiton Calkins. And when I was reading about her, I just had this melody in my head like Mary Whiton Calkins, and then it just went from there. And thankfully, I worked
Mm-hmm.
with a ghost producer. He helped me make a beat, and thankfully we did something awesome. Even today, like people really love that, that intro, like that bass and that bounce it has to it. So I'm really
Mm-hmm.
glad people like the song. I didn't think anyone would like the song or care for it, to be honest. I thought Sea Stars would have like blew up if it were to blow up, but no, it was Mary Wayne Calkins. And I think because
Mm-hmm.
people didn't know who Mary Wayne Calkins was, and because like the genre, I think sound-wise, it
Yeah.
sounds so different from the other tracks, so I think that's what drew people into that song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I
Yeah.
think it's almost a little unexpected too. And when it comes on, you're like, "Whoa, it's totally a vibe." I don't know. I just love it. What are you working on currently? I've heard some things that you're working on, like an upcoming project. Can you give us a little
Yes,
bit
my
of
second
insight
album,
in what you
Cure for
have
the
planned?
Disease, is out October 6th. I know it's a Monday, and it's very, yeah, like, out of all days, why a Monday? I chose that day because it had a lot of emotional significance because this album is a grief album, and I wanted to release it in a day that is special and has a lot of
Mhm.
meaning, and that day was the day my dad passed away, so I wanted to have it be a full circle moment. I wanted to be a tribute to my late dad, and I just thought it would be so empowering to release it on October 6th. And thankfully, I had a producer, shout out to Rose's Hands, who I told them everything about, like, I really want these tracks done by a specific date because I want this album released on October 6th. It needs to at least be in the distributor like weeks in advance at least. And you know what? They came through, so I'll
Mhm.
always be grateful to them for helping me make that vision come through on this specific day.
I love that the meaning is there, and I feel like that will translate well into the music. And I know there'll be listeners out there too that can relate that. That's what I love. One thing I love about music is that you can send it out into the world, your emotions and feelings, and somebody that you might not know can listen to those tracks and like understand and not feel so alone. Um, do you have a specific feeling or understanding that you want your fans to gain from this project?
I really hope I really hope they can understand grief if they've never experienced it. If they
Mm-hmm.
have experienced it, I hope it can help them cope. And I really love what you said earlier, Jack, because I remember when I announced my album, there was two people that said, "Hey, my loved one died on October 6th as well, and I will be tuning in as well." So it was nice to know, like, because I feel like sometimes in life we feel like we're alone in things, and that's not
Yeah.
always the case. And there are people who understand what you're going through, and there are people who have kindness and empathy. And I really think this album can be very, very healing. I know it was like very cathartic for me to write it and very emotional. And I think you will tell by like hearing my voice. Some songs
Mm-hmm.
like how I released You Didn't Get to Grow Up. The ending, like, I believe someone said, like, "Wow, the ending, like, I can hear, like, your voice, like, feeling very broken," and it was because, like, that was one of the 2 songs that I was really, like, tearing up while recording, so it
Yeah.
was a very emotional process, but I felt like it needed to be done.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the right people will hear it and understand it, and it'll mean so much to them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do your everyday surroundings inspire your music, or is it mostly ideas that just come to mind, or do you get inspired by like different types of media like shows or movies?
I will say I am very inspired what I learn from school, from universities, and I really think for my next album, it's not done at all. Like literally only one song's done, but I think you will see how there's like at least one song that, it's about something that I learned at university. So I can't wait to talk about that. It's going to be really interesting when it comes out, but I'm not there yet, but yeah, and also, like, I'm working on extra tracks for my second album. And yeah, I think Mary Whitney Calkins might have a sister, so you heard it here
Oh
first.
shoot! Breaking news: Mary Whitton Calkins might have a sister coming. That's so exciting. I know everyone's gonna be so excited. Uh, do you have like a certain process that you do to like kind of organize your ideas when you're creating music? Or is it like a little bit of here and there? I write this on paper, I write in my notes app, or do you use voice memos? What's like the process to keep your ideas like tracked down?
Yeah, sometimes I do use voice memos, or I mean, starting out, like, I would really write in my notebooks, but now I mainly am on my laptop or on my phone all the time. I just open my Google Doc and I usually just like start typing and
Mhm.
yeah, I'm always typing, if not like song lyrics, like poems and I don't know, like my own short stories because I always feel like I'm a writer first and writing has always been something I love. So yeah, it's always something I'm doing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so going back to the meme, how do you feel about becoming an overnight meme and a stan Twitter icon? Did you enjoy that moment or was it a little bit overwhelming? How did that feel?
Yeah, at first I was very like I didn't realize the extent of like the viralness that happened and when it did, I was like really grateful and my friends are like, "Oh, you need to like capitalize on this." And that's also why I released New Beginnings as fast as I did because I already had some songs
Mhm.
already in the draft. So I just did that as much as I could. And yeah, I mean, at first it was like really surprising. Of course, you're going to have gratitude and just, having an audience that you didn't have before listening to your music. And yeah, I'm grateful for that. And I will say, yeah, it was a bit overwhelming and a bit tiring, but I feel like now I've got into to at least like chill now
Yeah.
and the people who really appreciate my artistry have stayed and you know what? I'm gonna do my best to keep on improving and make more good music for them.
Do you have any plans to perform any of your songs to like a live audience? Would you ever like that?
Yeah, I would really like that. One thing I struggle the most as an artist is finding places to perform at, and I'm really trying to make something happen. I'm trying to reach out at places in my city that I can go to. So that is a to be
Yeah,
continued
definitely.
story.
Are you located in a bigger city or like a small city?
I would say I'm
Okay.
in a big city, I think.
Nice,
So,
plenty of
yeah.
options. I'm excited to see what you have planned.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Yeah, so much to do.
So, haters versus ragdolls with the sudden fame. Sorry, my cat is in the way. How do you
No, it's
manage to
okay.
split between the overwhelming positive support from your ragdolls and potential negative like hate from people who aren't in like the community of the ragdolls?
Um, I would say like I'm really surprisingly, I haven't really seen people
Mhm.
be too hateful, which I'm really grateful because, sometimes people online can
Yeah.
be a bit mean sometimes. And I have encountered some mean people, but I've just learned, just to ignore and just focus on what matters or even troll them
Mhm.
back sometimes because I think being a meme queen, you gotta troll sometimes. So I try to focus on the positive and focus on the audience I have and just focus on, just making good music, making good bops with the
Yeah,
resources that I do
definitely.
have.
And I think too, being aware that you are a meme queen and the icon that you are, like I I can tell that you know you're an icon and like no one can take that away from you, so the hate doesn't even matter really.
Yeah, thanks for thinking I'm an icon. I try not to like think I'm all of that because I think it's important to
Mhm.
be humble as well and to show gratitude and to just be grateful. So whenever people are like, "Oh, you're such an icon," like I'm very thankful, but I try not to like I don't know, not
Yeah,
be not humbled, if that
definitely.
makes sense. Yeah.
To go down like the track list, you could talk about each
Yeah.
of the songs if you'd like.
Okay, so I guess I'll start with track one. You were supposed to come back home to me. This is, I think this is the perfect way to start the album, but I will say it's very emotionally hitting and it's also a bit hard for me to listen to, so I don't really listen to it as much, but yeah, it's just a song about wondering like why didn't you come back home to me? Because unfortunately, when my dad passed, he passed like he didn't pass it. where we live, he was away and he was supposed to come back at home and he didn't. So this song is just really, reflecting about that. And track two, just yesterday, it's pretty much wondering like how can someone be alive one day and then the next day they're not? And it's just having that wondering feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Track three, I begged him to stay. This is a hard one. The song is from my mom's point of view, and for I begged him to stay, it's a song that's really tough to listen to, which I don't listen to it if I don't have to. I don't like listening to it to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's a song I just skip because it's very emotionally hard, and when I was recording it, I just felt like I was feeling all of my mom's like emotional pain and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and it's just really heavy. And for Leave Her Lonely is just a song about how I feel horrible sometimes, like leaving my mom alone when I'm doing my own thing, but everybody needs their own time and
Yeah.
stuff. But sometimes I just have that guilt of like leaving her lonely because she used to watch TV with my dad and now she watches it alone. And it's just really tough to just see that.
Mm-hmm.
Track five, Your Heart Doesn't Beat Just for You. So, my dad passed away from a massive heart attack, and this song is really about awareness about getting your heart checked and making sure to stay heart healthy and stuff like that. Track six, Cure for the Disease, is really, self explanatory, like
Mm-hmm.
searching for the cure for disease, wanting there to be cures for illnesses, and just having that hope. And seven, You Didn't Get to Grow Up is about two of my childhood friends, Amelia and Jacob, who unfortunately passed away as kids. And it's just a song of me saying you didn't get to grow up and how it has affected me. Eight, sulfasalazine slash hydroxylene Pam. I think out of all the tracks, I think people are most curious about this one because they're
Mm-hmm.
like, what in the world is this title?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to give too much about this one. I'd rather people wait and see, but I will
Yeah,
say
totally.
it's a song about me reflecting about the times of being on this medications and how it affected me.
Mm-hmm.
And track nine, Help Baggage. I feel like as humans, we all have baggage and we all have like struggles that we go through, and it's just about will I find somebody who loves me despite my own personal baggage, my own weight? And it's just about, feeling like I might not find that person because of it. Track 10, Sick Girls. It's just kind of about, clocking someone for having a weird, I guess you could say, fetish per se.
Mm-hmm.
So track 11, Good Old Dr. Barnes, is a song. It's based on a true story, real names, which I was a bit concerned about using a real name. But I was like, you can find any doctor
Yeah.
if you Googled it, to be honest. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'll take the risk. And, I never got to give him a thank you card, so I kind of felt like this was a public thank
Yeah.
you. Because he was so nice to me, so empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like there's a lot of like, trauma within the medical community, doctors and nurses, they don't I don't want to speak for everyone, but
Right.
sometimes it can feel like your doctor, your nurses don't care about you or they just think of you as a stat. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
the experience that I had with Dr. Barnes was like a whole different experience where he showed empathy towards me, he showed kindness towards me, he didn't make me feel weird when I was telling him about things
Yeah.
and he was just such an empathetic and kind person. I just wanted to write this thank you song for him. And yeah, like he and also he didn't also see me as like a patient, but he saw me as a human being,
Yeah.
which I think everyone who isn't or aspires to go into the medical community should realize that, at the end of the day, yes, it's a patient, but like it's also a person who has feelings, and I think people should know that more. Track 12, Student Doctors. This song, it's a bit angry, a bit angsty. It's just me like clocking. student doctors and how they annoy me and they frustrate me, but they also like
Mhm.
I also admire them at the same time. So it's like it's a full like cluster of emotions
Yeah.
there. 13 End of Times. I'm a good Christian girl, so I gotta have at least one Christian song in this
Yep.
album. Because I know with Perplex, there was with Nothing, I mentioned, my fate, and
Mhm.
I'm doing it again with my second album, End of Times. It's just me discussing the rapture and just me, just talking about it and kind of like, this is me like telling people like it's not too late to get saved if you want to. So that's End of Times. And 14 we will be reunited again. I wrote this when I first thought of it. I initially thought of my dog and I thought, not to get dark, but
Mhm.
unfortunately everyone does have to pass away at one point, and I was just thinking like even if that happens, I know we'll be reunited again in the other side in heaven. And also a dear friend of mine lost uh his dog, and so we will be reunited again is just about like having hope of seeing a loved one again. And 15, I am waiting for you. It's just pretty much saying like even though we're not here, we're not together anymore, I'm waiting for you and I know I'll see you again. So track 14 and 15 have a bit of similarities and they're both produced by me. So I'm glad to start taking more of a production route. But track 14 is more of like an interlude, like a minute, but
Mhm.
15, I'm waiting for you is like having hope of seeing a loved one again.
Yeah. I love that. How is it that you pick what song or what your title track is for the album? Was that like a difficult decision, or was it something that you just knew that that was the title?
It was not a difficult decision at all because I wanted this album to be named Cure for the Disease because I just see like often in my life I've seen so many of my loved ones pass away or go through health issues, and
Mhm.
the overall themes is about other than grief, it's about hoping that there's a cure for these illnesses one day. And I want to name this album Cure for the Disease because I do have hope that one day there will be a cure and that people won't have to suffer from, medical pain and just emotional pain, just pain in general.
When you were writing the songs for the album, did you write them like in the order that they are being released on the track, or was it you wrote some first and some later and then rearranged them into the order that you felt they fit?
Yeah, like with Perplex, I always had the
Mhm.
track list like always solid, but with this one, I had to really think it through. Like I had like for instance, like track 10 to 15, I knew that was how it's supposed
Yeah.
to go. The other tracks I wasn't really sure, so I was like really contemplating, but I was like I want it to be a story, and I thought You Were Supposed to Come Back Home to Me made the most sense because it's just me starting off my story of grief, and then as the other songs go, like, it talks about my mom's point of view and how and it also shows my point of view about, like, with songs like Just Yesterday about how you were alive one day and then you weren't the next, and then after I begged him to stay, which is my mom's point of view, it goes to Leave Her
Mhm.
Lonely, which is about, like, me, like, the the first reaction of grief is pretty much, like, kinda over away, and then but Leave Her Lonely, it's, like, me, like it's more of digesting that feeling, and then it goes to, like, Your Heart Doesn't Beat Just For You, so it's really, like, a
Yeah.
story in there, so and I know that there's some songs like, I will say track 8, Sick Girls, Student Doctors, they're a bit more
Mhm.
upbeat, so it was also about, like, making sure, like, there's a slow song, then a more, like, upbeat song, so, I was also thinking about it sonically that way as well, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
totally. Um, when you're writing the music, do you have like a routine to get you into the creative space, or are you just kind of always coming up with ideas and having ideas for music you want to create?
I feel like I'm always I'm always
Mhm.
doing something. If I'm not writing tracks or writing lyrics or trying to make some production, I'm like script writing, I'm writing short stories. I'm always doing something creatively. Like
Mhm.
I cannot pronounce words for the life of
Yeah,
me, but
totally.
you know what I mean. But yeah, I just feel like I'm always writing something. I'm always expressing myself in some way. So, yeah, like I have so many songs I
Mhm.
want to get done, and it's like, oh, so little
Right.
time. Cause like I am an independent, unsigned artist, so if it's not me, it's my momager
Mhm.
helping me out, and most of the work it's me and like me relying on my
Yeah,
friends for help
definitely.
and advice sometimes, which I'm really lucky I have, but it is mostly me, so that's why like, physical copies, touring, as much as I would love to do it, I don't really have the budget for it sometimes, so I have to focus on like, okay, making music. And thankfully, I think I found some good producers, so I'm gonna stick with them, and hopefully, we can make something awesome together.
I see a bright future. I also think too, like people don't understand how hard of work it is to be an independent artist. It's not something that you can just like casually do. You have to dedicate so much time and effort to it. And I can really see your hard work shining through, and you can tell that it's whenever you're making music that it's well thought out and like fully thought through, which I think comes clearly through your sound, and I really love that.
Thank you. Yeah, like it really is a full-time job. It doesn't really pay as one, but you know what? I feel like
Yeah.
if I keep on pushing, maybe one day it will. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think it will. I think, and you're so consistent too, which is so important. Like I feel like some people just like do like years breaks, but you're doing it, and I think it's amazing.
Yes, because Perplex was released 2023. The Viral Moment happened 2024, and now I have a new album
Mhm.
2025. So I'm always working because you know what?
Yep.
Even a friend would say, like, you just gotta keep on releasing. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep on releasing, and who knows, maybe one will stick, or maybe one will surpass Mary Pink Calkins one day. We'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Are you already writing songs for your next project?
I definitely am. I don't want to give too much about it, but it's definitely in progress. And yes,
In the
I can
works.
confirm that one track is done, but that's all that I have so far.
Yay. Do you play any instruments, or are you mostly a vocalist?
I would say like I can read piano music. I can
Mhm.
play a few chords like on acoustic guitar, like E minor, great. I memorized that because it's like I think it's just two
Yeah.
fingers. Like I have that by heart. But
Mhm.
I am honestly the slowest instrumental player ever. Like I'm just really slow with it, and that's why I mainly focus on my vocal, stage presence, dancing, because I know
Yeah.
like I'm more better in that. But I can play. I just feel like I'm really too slow on it, and I feel like if I ever get the opportunity to do like a show of just me, like I think I might just
Mhm.
have a backing track or like someone else play because like
Yeah.
it's just I know some artists, they can sing and play at the same time, and I think I can do it as well, but I'm just too slow, like, we're gonna be here, and it's like 30 years later, and I just don't want them to wait too
Yeah.
long, so, yeah, I think I might do a backing
Mhm.
track or something.
And if you do a backing track, that leaves you room to like dance too, because you don't have to focus on like sitting at the piano. If you're into like dancing and moving around too.
Yeah, exactly, and I also, like, this album I felt like I had to get it done because, I want to discuss my grief, and thankfully, I've
Mhm.
had my audience be very receptive towards it and said, "Oh, yeah, like, get your grief out." And I'm really excited to be getting that done, and I'm really excited for my third album, and I'm just happy that I'm going to be doing a more upbeat hyperpop sound, so I look forward for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I think also too the topic of grief will be, I think that the way that you're talking about it is so vulnerable for people that may be dealing with grief that aren't ready to talk about it themselves, but hearing in the music can be like a soft way to kind of process their emotions and their feelings. And I think it's just really wonderful that you're giving people that space.
Yes, I'm definitely holding space. But, yeah, I'm just really grateful that because at the end of the day, you never know who's gonna find your music and who's gonna
Right.
relate to it, and I've already had a few people already feeling like they can relate without the album, like, being out yet, and actually the album's
Mhm.
literally gonna be out in 6 days, so that's a bit crazy in a way, but,
That's so
like
soon.
but it just it's also, like, I'm really happy to get it out the way,
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking of doing much promo for it because it was just this album was mainly for me to just get it out of my system. So,
Mhm.
I'm really excited for the next era. I know I may be unsigned and independent, but you know what? I may be an unsigned artist, but I am gonna do my best to give like a proper rollout the next time.
Yeah. Totally. And if you like I said before, I'm always down to share, reshare anything you post. I don't have like millions of followers or thousands, but I know even like one share help is helpful. So,
Yes, cause I actually took a personal branding class, and
mhm.
my professor told me about this girl, like, she did a TikTok and it got, like, only, like, 20 views, and apparently one of those views was someone from The Voice producer, and she got on
Oh,
The Voice.
wow.
I don't know who it is, but she got on The Voice, so it just goes to show
That's
it
insane.
doesn't matter how many views it gets, all it matters is that one person that can see it, and
Exactly.
as Lady Gaga once said, there could be 99 people in a room,
Mhm.
and only one believes in you, but that's all you need, one.
Yeah, that's all you need. And two, I think the biggest step too is the fact that you believe in yourself and that you're actually doing it and releasing the music. Cuz I think about like before I had a podcast, I would always talk about like how I wanted to do it, but I never did. And so I never gave myself the chance to have that one person in that room to even see it. I don't know if that was like me rambling, but I don't know. I just think I'm really impressed by your ability to release your emotions into the world, and I'm so excited for your future.
Thank you. I'm excited for your future too. What's that podcast? Like, there's so many podcasts that ends up getting like viral and like really famous, and where like big A-list celebs end up going on it. I think it's called Her Daddy, I think. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
you never know
Yes.
what could happen. Things could level up for you, and it was definitely not rambling, and I love like hearing what you had to say because yeah, I'm like the same way. Like I'm always talking or thinking about doing this, and it's in my head, and it's one thing for it to be in your mind, but it's another thing to actually release it. Because sometimes you just have to put yourself out there regardless of the hate, because maybe there might be someone who's positive about it and it might be
Mm-hmm.
healing for someone. So here's to making stuff not in the draft, but actually published. So
Period. I love that. Don't keep them in the drafts, everybody. Just be brave. Do it, and me and Julie will be here to support you.
yes, exactly, because you know what? Everybody has to start somewhere, everybody, even the people with a million monthly listeners, they first started with,
Mm-hmm.
0, then they went to 100, then they gradually build up, and it's always something that you can build up, so don't be disheartened if you see, I don't know, if you release something on Wattpad and you only get 1 view, it's something that takes time, and people are getting TV shows all the time because of books from Wattpad. Like, Hello, My Life with the
Yep.
Walter Boys. I love that show, by the
Uh-huh.
way.
I also think too, like, you don't you're not giving yourself a fair chance if you're not releasing it either.
Yes,
Like I
exactly.
don't think it's fair to yourself to have these ideas or these ambitions and then not put it out into the world.
Exactly, because if you don't put it out, nobody's gonna know about it, and you need to get yourself out there, and it can be scary sometimes because the world can be mean, but just think how invaluable your art can be, and how it can heal and also heal you in the process as well.
So I have one last question that we ask everybody on Pop Palace, kind of going off the royalty theme of Palace. Imagine yourself like in a royal court with two or three of musical influences or icons that have inspired your music. Who would you be surrounded by?
I think, like Taylor Swift, I loved her since a kid.
Mhm.
Like I've been such a huge fan since Love Story, since I was in fourth grade. So I grew up with her and I feel like I do have some, Taylor influence here and there. I would also say Lana Del Rey because I feel like we both started out with like this like bedroom pop singing in your rooms using what you have.
Mhm.
So I could really relate to, having such limited source resources, but still giving the audience everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would also say I think those are my top two and those are who I'm most like influenced by, but yeah, I also feel like influenced by the greats like I feel like Britney Spears, like everybody's
Yes.
influenced by Britney
Mhm.
somehow. And, I just love her artistry. I love that she not only can she like command a stage, but she's just so genuinely kind. And like, I would even like look back at some of her old interviews and you could see how kind she is
Mhm.
and how sweet she is. And, like if I ever get the pleasure, the honor to level up in this music thing, I want to stay who I am. I don't want to lose who I am for like fame. I want to stay kind and caring and respectful. And yeah, I feel like Britney is, she is a blueprint and she's everything. And yeah, I just love the pop girls. I grew up with them.
Mhm.
Britney, Christina, Whitney Houston, Celine Dion. Like I love those queens, and I just think they're legendary. And yeah, I just think they're just amazing, and I'm just grateful that I'm somewhat a part of it in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. I have a special place in my heart for Brittany too. I'll watch her interviews all the time because she's just like such a sweet and kind person. And I remember watching one of the interviews, and it wasn't an interview of Britney, but I think it was like Gaga or one other main pop girl. And they said that like Britney Spears was one of the people that always had their back and that was like always like so genuine and compassionate. And so I just love her so much.
Yeah, she's so sweet and amazing and yeah, I just hope she's doing okay now and that she's happy.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Julie. I know all of the fans at Pop Palace are going to be super excited to hear from you. Is there any last things you would like to say?
I guess stream Cure for the Disease October 6th and be on the lookout for a deluxe or maybe something else around the corner for the Cure for Disease album.